chapter 2, text number 13. Jeno Asmin.
Page number. Give them page number.
Jeno Asmin. Page 80.
Give me one. Spectacle. Dehinasmin yatha dehi kaumarang jovanang jara tatha dehantara prapti dhirastattva namayan. The second chapter is a summary study of the Bhagavad Gita. The first chapter is the preparatory study of Bhagavad Gita, and the second chapter is the summary study of the contents of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita means the song sung by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavat, from the word Bhagavat, we speak Bhagavan. So Bhagavan, here in the Bhagavad Gita, you'll find everywhere, Sri Bhagavan Uvach. So, it is the science of understanding God. Jad Vijnana Samannita. Jnanam te pravakshami jad vijnana samannita. It is a vijnana. Vijnana means science. As everything is understood thoroughly through a scientific process, similarly, if you want to know the science of God, then you have to adopt the process by which one can understand God. That process is described in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya mam avijanati. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he says, if anyone wants to understand me, then he has to take the process of devotional service. Not by the speculative process or by fruitive activities or by yogic process, mystic yogic process. It is clearly stated, not only in Bhagavad Gita, in all other Vedic scripture, athapi te deva padambujadnayam prasado leshanugrhita evahi janati tattam bhagavan mahimna nachana ekopi chirang vichinna. One can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by His mercy only. Athapite deva padambujadnam prasado leshanugrhita. Anyone who has received a small particle of the prasada, mercy of the Lord, he can understand the Lord. Nobody can understand the Lord perfectly. It is not possible because the Lord is unlimited. We have got our senses very limited. Our senses are not only limited but also imperfect. We commit illusion, we try to cheat. So many defects are there. Therefore, simply by exercising our senses, it is not possible to understand God. So, to know God, God is very good, God is great, that is another thing. The science of God, just like Bhagavad Gita, by studying Bhagavad Gita, we know not only God is great, but we see what kind of God He is, what is His form, Satchidananda Vigraha. We have heard in the Shastras that Ishara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadi Radhi Govinda Sarva Karana Karan. Now, that Ishara Satchidananda Vigraha, how He appears, Satchidananda Vigraha. Those who are present, of course, they saw the Satchidananda Vigraha. But because not all of them were devotees, they could not understand Krishna as the Supreme Personality of God. Avajananti manga mudha manusim tanumasthitam. Because He appeared just like a human being, so mudhas means less intelligent, or in plain word, asses. Mudha means ass. So this class of men could not understand Krishna, that He is the Supreme Personality of God. That is the defect of the Mudhas. They may be very great scholar, academic scholar, but in the matter of understanding God, they are Mudhas, asses. Why? Maya apurita jnana asuri bhavamasrita. At the present moment, people are mostly asuri bhavamasrita. Asuri bhav means to defy God. There is no God. God is dead. I am God. You are God. So many gods are loitering in the street. Why you are finding out God? These are so many statements. The God has become so cheap. There are so many incarnations of God. Especially in India, it is a breeding ground of gods, so many. So that means they do not know what is God. Mudha. They think God is so cheap thing. But from the Shastra, we understand. From Bhagavad Gita, you understand. When Krishna was asked by Arjuna, how you are controlling the whole cosmology, your vibhuti, your power, energy. So Krishna explained, and at last he concluded, Atava baunaitena kingyatena tavarjuna Vishyabhya aham idam krishnang ekangsena sthitu jagat. The whole cosmology, material world, is just sustained by my partial manifestation of energy. Ekangsena. This material cosmology, material manifestation, is 1/4 demonstration of God's energy. The 3/4 manifestation of His energy is the spiritual world. Parastasmatu bhavanya bhaktya bhaktya sanatana. There is another nature which is spiritual nature, para, superior. The spiritual nature is described as para. Para means beyond this, apara. There are two energies working, material nature and spiritual nature. Material nature is described in the Bhagavad Gita, bhumi rapanalo vayu khangamana buddhiriva. Bhinna me prakriti astadha. These 8 types of material nature, earth, water, fire, air, sky, mind, intelligence and ego, these are material nature. Bhinna prakriti astadha. They are separated energies. Aparayam itastu vidhi me prakriting para. Beyond this, these are inferior, apara. And beyond this apara prakriti, there is another superior prakriti. What is that? Jiva bhuta mahabaho jaidam jadati jagat. That is the living entity. The living entity, living being, is energy of the Supreme Lord. Energy, just like the sun and the sunshine. Sunshine is the energy of the sun glow. Similarly, we living entities, we are also energies of the Supreme Lord. What is the sunshine? It is a combination of a very small shining particles, molecular. That is sunshine. It looks like one homogeneous thing, but they are small particles. That is scientific understanding. Similarly, we are also a small particle of the Supreme Lord. Mamaivangsha jiyogu. We are a small particle. How much small? What is the magnitude? That is also described in the Shastra. Kesagra satabhagasya satadha kalpitasya cha jiva bhaga sabhignya sa anantaya kalpata. There is dimension of the living entity, 1/10,000 part of the tip of the hair. So it is very difficult. With these material eyes, we are very much proud of our eyes, but here is the indication from the Shastra, the length and breadth of the living soul. Now you find out with your eyes, your microscope, that is not possible. Because they cannot find out, they say Nirakar. Nirakar, in one sense, it can be supported that we cannot ascertain the forms of the soul. And how we can ascertain the form of the Lord. Anoraniyang mahato mahiyan. So, spiritual education means, spiritual enlightenment First of all, we must try to understand the jiva, because jiva is the small particle of the Lord, so that we can understand the quality of the Lord. Just like if you taste a small particle of gold, then you can understand the composition of gold. If you taste a little drop of water from the ocean, you can analyze the chemical composition of the sea. Similarly, if you can analyze the characteristics of the living entity, then you can at least understand what is God, what is the characteristics of God. Therefore, the beginning of spiritual education is to understand oneself, the self-realization. How to realize self? We have to take knowledge from others. Knowledge means to acquire knowledge, to learn from the teacher. So here is the supreme teacher, Krishna. Krishna is accepted as the supreme teacher by everyone, by all the great sages, formerly like Vyasdev, Narad, Devala, Usita, all other great sages. And recently, in the modern age, by our acharyas, Sri Ramanujacharya, Madhyacharya, Ramanuja, Sankaracharya, Vishnu Swami, all these great sages, great acharyas, they came from your South India. So you are fortunate in that sense. So we have to follow the acharyas. All these acharyas accept Krishna, the Supreme Lord. All these acharyas. And lately, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, 500 years ago, he also accepted the Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishnastu Bhagavan Sam. That is the acceptance in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Similarly, Lord Brahma also accepted Krishna, Ishara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadi Radhi Govinda, Sarva Karana Karan. So we have got so many evidences. So we have to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of God. There is no doubt about it. But why people do not accept? Why are so many big scholars and big scientists, why they do not accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of God? That is also stated in the Bhagavad Gita, how these people do not accept. The statement is there, Namaga duskitanam mudha prapadante naradhama maya aparitagnyana asuri bhavamasi. Those who are duskritina, sinful, duskritina, kriti means meritorious, and du means miscreants, meritorious for mischief making. Everyone has got merit. The mischief maker, he has also got merit. But one who uses his merit for mischief making, just like a great rogue, a thief, when he steals, he requires brain. So he is applying his brain how to steal tactfully, how to become a great rogue tactfully, how to become a smuggler. They require also brain. So the brain is being misused for mischievous activities. They are called miscreants, duskritina. So those who are duskritina, namanga prapadanta, namanga duskritina mudha. One class is duskritina and the other class is mudha. Mudha means less intelligence or no intelligence. Namang duskitanam mura prapadante naradhama. And naradhama means the lowest of the mankind. And maya apritagnyana, those whose knowledge have been taken by maya. Asuri bhavamasita. These classes are men. Do not surrender unto Krishna. We are not manufacturing these words. These words are in the Bhagavad Gita. If we study Bhagavad Gita, we have to accept these statements. Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita means the speeches which is delivered or the song which is sung by the Supreme Personality of God. So, our Krishna consciousness movement is to preach all over the world that Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. You are searching after God. You are taxing your brain so much. But in spite of taxing your brain, you say sometimes that there is no God, or God is dead, or everyone is God, and so on and so on. But our proposition is that why you are taxing your brain? Here is God. Here is God Krishna. By authorities, by Vedic version, by his activities. If we read life of Krishna, we can see that he is Krishna, God, from the very beginning of his birth. God is not manufactured by some mystic power. God is God. A dog is dog. A dog cannot become God, God cannot become dog. That is the difference. So Krishna was God from the very beginning. As soon as Krishna took birth, he appeared in four-handed Vishnu Murti. But when he was prayed by his mother to become an ordinary child, he became an ordinary child without two hands. So that is God from the very beginning. Not that by attaining some mystic power one can become God. You can have some power. Godly, you have already power because we are, every one of us is a part and parcel of God. Therefore, godly qualities are there. But you cannot become 100% God. That is not possible. That is not possible. They have been analyzed. All the demigods and living entities, they have been analyzed by great stalwart people. And it has been found that Krishna is 10% God. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Iti changsakala pungsha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. All others, there are many other gods. And then gods means not the supreme God. Ishvara Parama Krishna. We are speaking of the Parama Ishvara or Parameshwara. There are two words. Ishvara, Parameshwara. Atma, Paramatma. That Param is God. We are Brahma, Parabrahma. So Parabrahma, Paramatma, Parameshwar, all these are applicable to Krishna. Just like Arjuna, after hearing Bhagavad Gita, he admitted, Parabrahma, Parang Dhama, Pavitrang, Paramam Bhava. Purusham Shasatam Adyam. That is the position of Krishna. Adi Purusham. Govindam Adi Purusham. Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, Aham Adirhi Devanam. Devanam. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar. Then after Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar, there are other demigods, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, so many. So, Krishna says, Aham Adirhi Devanam. Aham Sarvasya Prabhava. He is the origin of everything. aham sarvasya prabhava, matta sarvam pravartate, everything emanates from me. In the Vedanta Sutra also, the absolute truth is described as janmadasya jata. The absolute truth is that from whom everything emanates. So here is Krishna. From shastric evidences, by his opulences, by his power, because Bhagavan means full of 6 opulences. Aishajyasya samagrasya bijasya jasasya sriya. He must be the richest. He must be the strongest. He must be the most famous. He must be the most beautiful. He must be the great renouncer. In this way, that is the definition of God. So, that definition is confirmed by Lord Brahma. Ishvara Parama Krishna. Ishvara means controller. Controller, unless one is powerful, how he can control? So every one of us is little small controller. Somebody controls in his office, somebody controls in his family life, somebody controls a few factories. There are controllers, but nobody can say that I am the supreme controller. That is not possible. The supreme controller is Krishna. So this Krishna consciousness movement means we are trying to link up our connection with the supreme controller. We do not wish to become the controller. We want to be controlled, but by the supreme controller, not by others. That is our proposition. Just like generally one who is in service, he hankers after government service. Because it is natural conclusion that if you have to serve somebody, why a petty merchant? Why not take government service? So that is our proposition. That we have to serve. We cannot do but serve. Any one of us. That is our constitutional position. Any one of us who are sitting here, we are servant. Every one of us is servant. So our proposition is that you are servant in any case. Why not become servant of God? That is our proposition. That is Krishna consciousness movement. So, kamadinam kotidhana kotidha palita dunnidesha. We are servant of our senses. Kam, krodh, lo, moha, matsarya, all this. Dictated by our lusty desires, we do anything which is abominable. Tesham kotidhana kotidha palita dunnidesha. So we are servant, everyone. Therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Jiver Swarup hai Nitya Krishna Das. Our real constitutional position is that we are eternal servant of God, Krishna. That is our position. But in this material condition of life, every one of us trying to become the master. That is the struggle for existence. Everyone is trying. I shall become the master, I shall become the supreme. But our position is servant. So this is called illusion. I am not master, I am servant, but I am trying to become master artificially. That is struggle for existence. And mukti means, liberation means, when you give up this wrong idea that I am master and try to become the servant of the Supreme, that is called liberation. Liberation does not mean that after liberation we will have a big gigantic form or so many hands, so many legs. Liberation means to become liberated from the wrong consciousness. That is liberation. The wrong consciousness is that I am must. So we have to change this consciousness. That is Krishna consciousness movement. One has to understand thoroughly that he is not master, he is servant. He is completely dependent on the supreme will. If we do not surrender unto the supreme will, then we have to surrender unto the will of Maya. We have to remain a servant. If we do reject service or servitude of the Supreme Lord, then we have to become the servant of the senses, that is Maya. Actually, that is going on. The whole world is serving different types of senses. Senses are one, the same, but they have got different desires. So they are servant of different desires. Now, the Krishna consciousness movement it is not manufactured by us. We get it from Bhagavad Gita. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekang saranang vraja. Krishna says that you give up all these nonsense desires. You surrender unto me. That is the whole purpose of Bhagavad Gita. We are dictated by different types of desires, which is dictated by Maya, and we want to become master falsely. This is called illusion. This is called Maya. Actually, you are not master. How we can become master? Because we may be very scientifically advanced. We may manufacture very wonderful machine and weapons. But after all, we are subjected to the rules of Maya. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha dosha anudarsanam. You cannot get out of these four principles of Maya's machinery. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi. Therefore, the sane man who is actually learning, he surrenders to Krishna. Bhaunam janmanam ante Jnanavan Maha Prabhaddha. Actually, when one becomes wise, he surrenders to Krishna. Jnanavan Maha Prabhaddha. Otherwise, who is Krishna? I am as good as Krishna. I am God. That is Maya. That is not actually knowledge. In the Srimad Bhagavatam it is said, Jannera Vindakha Vimukta Manina. They are thinking that they have become liberated, become Narayan or God. Manina. They are thinking like that. Actually they are not. Because they are subjected to the rules of the material nature. They cannot get out of these clutches. And who can get out of these clutches? Mameva ja prapaddanti. Krishna says, anyone who surrenders unto me, Daividji sagunamai mama maya durattaya mameva ja prapaddante mayami tang tarantite. So therefore, this Krishna consciousness movement is very pious movement, the most glorious welfare activities, and we are preaching this movement all over the world just to place Krishna. Our only ambition is that to place Krishna as the Supreme Personality of God. That is our proposition. We don't want to become Krishna, but we want to become the most obedient servant of Krishna. That is our proposition. So we invite everyone from all parts of the world, and they are coming, they are joining. So in India, Krishna appeared. India has got special advantage to understand Krishna, and India is neglected. That's a great misfortune. But we request everyone to join this movement, study the philosophy, and become happy. That is our proposition. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
The Atma and Devata is everywhere. And Brahma and Parabrahma is different. And in one way they are told the Atma is the part and parcel of the Paramatma, that is the Supreme Lord. And this contradiction is preaching. How we establish the Atma and Paramatma is both one. One side told is the Atma is part and parcel of the Paramatma, and one way told the Atma and is separate and Paramatma is different. Because this only contradiction in the understanding people. I request the Swami to clarify the solution exact what the Vedas say and what the Bhagavad Gita says. Is there a difference between the Vedas and Bhagavad Gita? Other we follow the Vedas or we follow the Bhagavad Gita? Because the Bhagavad Gita is the only song of the Lord Krishna. The Vedas are the pure knowledge of from Lord.
So why you are going out? You hear Vedas, in the Bhagavad Gita it is said, Vedaishta sarvai ahameva vedyam. All the Vedas and Vedantas, they are meant for understanding Krishna. If by studying Vedas and Vedanta, you cannot understand Krishna, then it is samayeva hi kevalam. It is simply labor. That is the adjustment of Bhagavad Gita and all other Vedic literature. Veda means knowledge. And Anta means ultimate. That is called Vedanta. The ultimate knowledge is to know God. You may not accept Krishna, although all the acharyas I have already mentioned. Even Shankaracharya, he also accepts Krishna. Sabhagavan Sayam Krishna. So, the Ramanujarya, Madhvacharya, they have all accepted Krishna. The ultimate knowledge of Vedic understanding. Many acharyas, they have written notes on Vedanta, targeting Krishna as the Supreme Personality of God. So, we have to follow the footprints of the great stalwart acharyas. Acharya upasana. Mahajana jena gatastha pantha. If we follow the footprints of the acharyas, then we will find there is no distinction between Vedanta and Bhagavad Gita. Vedanta, you might be referring to the Vedanta Sutra of Shankaracharya, but all the acharyas, they have written notes on Vedanta. Srimad Bhagavatam is the original comment on Vedanta. Srimad Bhagavatam begins with the Vedanta Sutra, Janmadasya Jataha. So, Vedanta does not mean the godlessness. Vedanta means to know God. That is real study of Vedanta.
You wanted to know what is the difference between Paramatma and Atma.
Paramatma and Atma, it is not very difficult to know. Just like you are father and you have got many children at home. So, because they are children, they are, as ingredients, you and your children are the same. But still, you are superior and the children are dependent. Your children are not different from you, but still, you are superior and they are inferior or junior. So qualitatively one, but quantitatively different. So, quantitatively different, Atma, Paramatma, and qualitatively one, Atma is spirit, Paramatma is spirit. It is called Achinta Bhedabhed Tat. Simultaneously one and different. One in quality, different in quantity. You can create. You are also qualitatively one with God. You have got creative power. Just like we are creating this flying machine, Sputnik, that is also flying in the sky. And the Paramatma has created the millions of planets floating in the sky. So you have got the creative power, but you cannot create like that, Paramatma. That is the difference. Can you?
My question was very simple.
Yes. The answer is also very simple. Paramatma is great, you are small. That's all.
But whether our Atma is part and parcel of the Paramatma,
Yes.
are we entirely different from the Atma and
And that I will explain. In quality you are one. Because a particle of gold is also gold. But the gold mine is not equal to the gold earring. That is mistake.
every Atma is the Paramatma? Not the whole.
Not the one is great, another is small. That is the difference. Quality is the same.
That means the Paramatma and Atma,
Quality same.
quality is same.
Quantity different.
But the Atma which is functioning in the body
Yes.
is according to the Paramatma or is entirely different from the Paramatma.
According to the Paramatma.
Every our action is according to Paramatma.
Yes.
So why we abuse one person to other person?
Huh?
Why a person?
Yeah.
Abusing the other person we say that man is
But you should remember that you are in quality Paramatma. So Paramatma has got supreme independence. You have got little independence also. When you misuse that little independence, you create havoc.
who is responsible for the creation of mystery?
Huh?
Then who is responsible for the creation of this mystery?
Well, responsible just like the father creates children, but he becomes a thief. Does it mean the father is responsible? What is your idea? Huh? Father creates children, but a child becomes a rogue. Does it mean the father creates a rogue? That is the Karanam Gunasangasya Sadasat Janma Jonis. You are independent, you can associate with different qualities of nature, and then your character is formed. That is your independence. Your God's instruction is Sarva dharman parittajya mamekam saranam. You do not abide by that. You create your own independence, therefore you suffer. Father says, my dear boy, do like this, you'll be happy. But he does in a different way. Who is responsible, the father or the son?
Suppose the man is serving to other person.
If you work according to the instruction of God, then you'll be happy. That is our proposition.
Whether a man is serving to other person, and one Atma is serving to other Atma, is equivalent to service of God. Difference between the service of the human being and the service of God.
Just like if you water on the leaf and if you water on the root, which is better? That's it. But if you water the leaf, means you waste your time. Because by watering the leaf, you cannot make the tree living. Similarly, the Shastra says that water on the root, jatha taron moola nisechanena, tippanti taskanda bhujopasakha. If you water the root, automatically the branches, the twigs, the leaves, they become invigorated. But if you water the leaf, you think that you are doing service, but you are doing nothing. Chant Hare Krishna.